This is a video by Rich Pin. Today we're working on a Saturn S series. This happens to be a Gen 2 model. And what we're doing today is we're removing the multifunction switch. Now, first thing you want to do is disconnect the battery, and you can disconnect the fuse for the airbag. Now, on this one right here, the airbag is the first thing we're going to take off on the steering wheel, and it's held on by these two 8mm head bolts that go in through the side here. Now, once you remove those, you can remove the airbag to this position here, and there's a little lock on the connector right here on the airbag. Flip that and then pry this off the airbag. Okay, now once we get that off, we can take the steering wheel out of the way. Now, most of the time you don't need a steering wheel puller to get the steering wheel off. Now, this nut right here is a 21mm head nut. You can see I'm not in the garage today, I'm in the junkyard, so it's going to be a little bit different. Okay, now once we get that nut out of the way, we should be able to just looks like this one needs a puller. And now if you get a stubborn steering wheel that won't come off, you'll need to put your puller on there. And pull that steering wheel off. There we go. Now feed the wires through the steering wheel. And if you happen to have cruise control, you want to make sure that you disconnect that and remove the steering wheel. Now we want to get these two covers off. They're held on by 5.5mm screws, and this one right here is a little difficult one. It goes way up inside the well. I have a special ground down 5.5mm socket to do that. Now, once we remove the last screw here, we can separate our covers. Remove that one, and this one right here, forgot about the ring on the key right here, and we want to pop that off. And if I had my panel remover, that would have came off a little easier. And there we go. Now we can see what's going on. Now with this the airbag coil right here. Now, before you took the steering wheel off, you want to make sure that that is straight ahead. And we don't want the coil to move. So what we're going to do is take some tape and make sure that doesn't move on us. Clean this down so our tape stick. Okay. Let's put another piece on there. There we go. That's not going to turn on us now. Now, the next thing we want to take off is this bolster underneath the steering column right here. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 7mm screws, and then detach the hood release from it, and we can take that bolster out of the way. Now, next thing we want to do is remove the connector from the airbag coil. This is it right here. There's a little lock right here. We can press in, and that disconnects the connection for the coil right there. Now underneath the column you'll see this yellow connector. This is part of the airbag system also that we have to disconnect. There's a little green lock right here, and you'll pry that out, and there's another one of these push locks right here. You'll push it in and then push that, and that will disconnect that connector. Okay, now the coil itself is held on by 3 Phillips head screws, and we want to remove those, and after that we should be able to fish our wires up and out. Now if you want to leave the coil on the switch, you can, and just, oh, this little clip right here was on there that you had to pry off also. So, but there's your airbag coil. So if you didn't have to take it off, don't take it off, but there it is, all off. Now the next thing we need to do is remove these 3 5.5 millimeter screws in here that hold the switch down and get your switch loose. Next we want to remove this connector right here. There's a little lock you can push in, and remove that connector. Oh, excuse me, it's hard holding this camera and doing 2 things at once. Okay, now we want that connector removed. Next we want to remove this electrical connector right here. I got a screwdriver in here and I pushed this piece in, and that released the connector. Now the last electrical connector that's on here is this one right here. Have the same configuration. We got this lock we have to press in, and that relieved it. So now that we got the switch out, it wasn't that hard. Just try to remember to disconnect your battery. Take the airbag fuse out just to be on the cautious side. And it's just a matter of remembering how you took it off. What you could do is write down on a piece of paper every step along the way, so you can get all your electrical connections back in. Like this left one over here has to go in first, and then this one over here, then the blue one last, and it shouldn't be that difficult. So that's all there is to removing and replacing your Saturn S series multifunction switch.